kind of like you're on the T3, but very good on 199 watts.
Yeah, we're inside the house, and all we have in here is low power stuff.
Well, okay, sounded like a little pause there, so we'll go ahead and see if we can get started here. Got to look at the scope across the way. Looks okay. This is WA7YBS. This is the Nevada Vintage Military Radio Net. And going to be the last net of 2023. So got to be sure to check in this one. So far I've heard Ron, and I've heard Bob, and I've heard Chuck. So that's who's in here so far. And of course everybody knows the drill on the Vintage Military Radio Net, the Nevada MIL-RAD Net, whatever you want to call it. And military radio gear certainly isn't a requirement. It's checking with what you got. Subject of conversation is generally about military gear, collecting, restoring, repairing, all that sort of stuff. But other type of gear is, we discussed that too, so it's not a problem. And so anyway, everybody knows that we assign numbers. So what we have right now is in the number 1 spot is Ron, NU6F. In the number 2 spot is Bob, W6AQU. The number 3 spot is Chuck, K0DWC. Good morning to you guys. Let's see if there's anybody else out there. Number 4 is open. Vintage Military Radio. Now, if you want to get in here in the first pre-warm-up round, we'll get everybody checked in. Well, go ahead and check in now.
W6JRY, W6MQI,
KD6TKX,
W6SSP.
Okay, we got a whole lot there. All right, in the number 4 spot's Jerry, W6JRY. Morning, Jerry. Good strong signal. Number 5 is Dave, W6MQI. Morning, Dave. Good signal. Number 6 is Andy, KD6TKX. Good signal from Andy there. Good morning to you. Number 7 is Steve, W6SSP. Good signal from Steve. And number 8 is Bill, M6BCG. Pretty good signal from Bill. I'm sure he'll pick up this before long. So, let's see if there's anybody else out there. Number 9 is open if you want to check in. As to this pre-check-in sort of warm-up round, well, number 9 is open. Check in now. Okay. Well, let me run down the list again. Well, let me do this first. What am I running? I know that's the question. This is the ARG-13A, the Stamma Fugitive, the basket case, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it's putting out about 120 watts to a kilometer array antenna. Theoretically, it should have about 1.5 dB a gain, but you know how that goes. But anyway, it's a 230-foot antenna center fed with 100 feet of open feed line. And so that's that. Microphone is a amplified bass D104. The receiver is the Hallicrafter Super Pro, which is my nickname for the Hallicrafters R274/FRR. And of course that was the signal core design, turret, band switch, all of the things that Hamlin had in the Super Pro SP600. But of course, the Hallicrafters version, the R274, preceded. Hammerland's SP600 by about a year and a half. So doesn't matter. It was a signal corps design, so that's not really important. So anyway, let's run down the list again. And temperature here was 18 degrees this morning, so a little cold for the shop. So that's why we're upstairs running the ART-13. So here's the list. Number 1 is Ron, NU6F. Number 2, Bob, W6AQU. Number 3, Chuck, K0DWC. Number 4, Jerry, W6JRY. Number 5, Dave, W6MQI. Number 6 is Andy, KD6TKX. Number 7 is Steve, W6SSP. And number 8 is Bill, N6BCT. So, up to Ron, NU6F. Round 1. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, sounds like I got it. Okay, good signal from all this morning. No interference, just that weird rapid deep QSB that we got, but sounds good. Okay, on the Sama Fugitive and inside the shack rather than the shop. Yeah, more like typical winter temperatures here, and it's nice not to have to shovel the right stuff. We were just talking about that. And I'm running the TDE this morning with an amp, and I'm putting out 130 watts carrier. The TDE is using T17 carbon mic and receiving on the RAL5 contract 1939. And the antenna at this point is the long wire, but I switched earlier over to the loop, and on some signals it seemed better. Alrighty, up to Montague, W6AQU, NU6F.
NU6F, and the Sunday morning vintage military group. This is W6Able Quiopo in Montague, running 6 watts of drive into a single 3500Z, and we're down to 175 watts now. Turned on a heater here, drew the primary down. Also, all stations are really good, and I still haven't got out to see what the temperature is, but probably not as cold as it has been this last week. So those numbers will come up next time. All right, moving it along, back to Dayton. Chuck, DWC, go ahead, W6AQU.
Okay, Bob, W6AQU, K0DWC. Well, good morning, Henry, and Ron, Bob, and Jerry, Dave, Andy, Steve, and Bill. Jerry, it's good to have you back, and Andy, it's good to have you back too with us. Everybody's got a really good signal. Even Bill sounded good over here this morning, and signal seemed pretty strong all the way around. But anyway, we're on the ART-13 this morning, and well, I think my antenna's changed a little bit. I used to be able to get this thing down to a null. Now it's, I can't get any better than 1 watt of reflected power, and the watt meter's showing closer to 250 watts than it is 200 watts. But this is a Drake watt meter, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. I've swapped out the watt meters to see if it made a difference, and both of them registered the same. So anyway, we're right around a couple hundred watts, I'll say. D104 amplified microphone, running into an inverted V, and we're listening on a 1945 contract R45 ARR7 receiver from the Signal Corps this morning. So anyway, with that, we'll keep it going, and we'll send it over to Forest Ranch, to Jerry, W6JRY in the group, K0DWC.
Okay, Chuck, K0DWC in the group, W6JRY. Very good morning to all. Excellent signals here today. Low noise, no power line noise at the present time anyway. And 54 degrees here in the shack, and about 45 outside, I think it is, present time. Everybody's really sounding good here, really some strong signals here today. We're on the 32V3 transmitter this morning, running 90 watts output, and receiving on a 75A4. Antenna's nil-to-loop antenna. The apex is up at 80 feet. And G104 microphone here. Now that's the rundown on the equipment. Anyway, we made it through Christmas, and hopefully we'll get through New Year's, which is not too far away here. So, anyway, over there to Dave, and he's sounding good up this way, Dave. W6MQI in the group, W6JRY.
All right, W6JRY, W6MQI. All right, Jerry. I think you and I have a pipeline between each other. You always have a really good signal. I seem to at your end, too. But, yeah, everybody's sounding good this morning. Henry's ART13, Ron's TDE. I missed what Bob was running there. Big 6 watts into his amplifier. Chuck's ART13 and Jerry's 32V3 sounded good. Well, I'm on the old reliable, the ART13 as well. Listening on 75A4 receiver using a D104 amplified mic. To an inverted V at the apex of that's about 50 or so feet in the air. And yep, had a good Christmas here, nice and quiet. Went down to Pacific Grove for a few days. Came back Christmas Day, had a nice time down there. Went out to dinner and such. And all in all, it's good. It's 46 degrees here. It looks to be clear outside. I think our storm finally has blown over. Although I think we got something coming back around Tuesday or so. What else? Is tonight straight ski night, or is that tomorrow night? I have to look that up. I was just thinking about that. So over to Andy. You've probably got the sleep rubbed out of your eyes by now. Take it away, KD6TKX, W6MQI.
W6MQI in the military net. This is KD6TKX. Thank you, Dave. Let's see, yeah, great signals here. Good morning to Ron, Bob, Chuck, Jerry, Dave, Steve, and Bill, and Henry, of course. Thanks for running the show here. It's Andy. I'm located at Curry Mountain, California, which is about 80 miles southwest of Fresno, at the sometimes referred to Radio Ranch. And this morning I'm running some of my British stuff. It's a 1939 wireless number 12 transmitter with an R107 receiver, and I'm running that through an amplifier. Running a little different audio input scenario here. Finally found a way to pull my one trick that I have for audio out of my hat. Once again, that's an amplified D104 going into the radio. And it runs the mighty ATP35 in the final, and it has what I call high-level suppressor grid modulation, which is really just suppressor grid modulation with an extra word stuck in front of it. So great to hear everyone, and looking forward to hearing what everybody's up to these days. Over to Steve, W6SSP. This is KD6TKX.
Okay, Andy. Thank you very much. This is Steve, W6SSP, just north of Santa Rosa. Running the usual classic Collins 75A1 and 32V1 transmitter, which last week was acting up a little bit. So I've been taking a look at it this week and trying to replicate the problems with the so I'm running the
on the spectrum analyzer right next to me. I'm looking at the output, and it's pretty darn good. So we'll see how that turns out the rest of the net. Hopefully the problem shows up again so I can fix it. Anyway, I also want to put out a parts request to the group. Still working on the wheelbarrow R390As on the second one. And Henry has been very generous in supplying a number of small parts for this project. And but I'm still missing one thing Henry didn't have a spare of. And that is the round oven that's in the corner of the RF bus. It's got an aqua base on it and has two pistons inside, 200 kc and 17 megacycle. So if anybody has one of those floating around they don't have a use for, please let me know. I'm looking for one. It's the last part. I need to complete both of them. Anyway, good conditions overall. Hearing everybody, very, very strong. Low noise. All the rain we had earlier in the week must have really washed off the PG&E insulators, so hopefully that stays that way for a while. Down to Half Moon Day, N6BCT, W6SSP. Take it away, Bill.
Remind everybody how we practice ground, but it's just pure practice for afternoon. And happy New Year to everybody. That's coming up and straight through the mountains and New Year's Eve. So we're still there. And it's about 9 o'clock on the next day. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the film.
MS with feedback.
Hey, what was the break-in there? Go ahead.
Well, that was W7MS. My apologies for the feedback, but we're now in the standby position on the 75A4.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make a transmission there, Mike, and turn it back to me. You're number 9, and sounding good. W7MS, WA7YBS.
Yeah, thanks, Henry, and good morning to all the folks on frequency. I got things, at least the audio turned up on the receiver while I was prepping my first cup of coffee. Slept in a little bit this morning due to some fireworks activity that started last night and woke me up several times from my slumber, but thought that I was getting a little agitated. Then I thought about the people with horses and dogs in the neighborhood probably severely didn't appreciate that. But enough of my monologue. Good morning to everybody. This morning running the KWS-S1, otherwise known as the Goldberg twins in the 75A4 receiver. So back to you, Henry. WA7YBS, W7MS.
Very good. W7MS, WA7YBS. All right, yeah, the Goldberg twins. I remember those guys. And let's see if there's anybody else out there that wants to get in here and be all prepped for round 2. Number 10 is open if you want to check in. Do it now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, that was good signals from everybody. Q5 on all stations. And so, nice conditions, as you know, generally expected for practically the middle of winter. It is clear today, so that's an improvement over yesterday. But yeah, the price you pay is very, very cold mornings. And you know, even with the heat out in the shop, you know, I don't even have to go out there, and I know it's 30. Maybe 31 or 32, and I don't know. It's, you know, it takes me an hour to get it warm in there, and then it's not really warm. Tolerable. So anyway, yeah, up here upstairs, it's a lot better. Looks like it's about 60 in here. That's much better. So let's see, as far as projects here, John, KB6SCO, passed along a National NC-125 to me. It came out of Chuck McClurg's garage, and when Chuck became an SK, that NC-125 kind of kicked around a little bit, and it turned up at Brad's at least once, but no takers. So anyway, it ended up as a freebie, and it's definitely had hamster hands on it. They were like really hackers. You know, when you replace the speaker output, regular screw terminals with a 3-pin mic connector, or you rip out the screw terminal, you know, regular terminal strips, antenna connection, and stick in a BNC. Well, you know, that was just the beginning. Inside was something else. So I don't know if it needed the repairs or what, but definitely one of the things that's a key is when you know, a replacement part is needed and it doesn't quite fit, that you modify the receiver rather than modify the part to fit. I don't know how many times I've run into that. Well, I got to drill a couple of extra holes to make this fit. Well, why don't you modify the part to fit? But, well, that was the case with the filter choke on this one, mounted diagonally, so it would fit in. Anyway, enough lamenting about the NC-125. I understand from Steve it's a good receiver. So we'll see when we get to that point. So let me check one more time. Let's see if we got anybody else out there before we proceed on to round 2. Number 10's open if you want to check in. Do it now. All I hear is sidebanders. Okay, let's roll on here to round 2. Up to Ron, and you success with the Mechograph Tiger Stripe. Yeah, I got your email on that, and yeah, I don't know how those guys at Mechograph did that finish, but it was definitely they rubbed off something to reveal the copper underneath, and so but you know, kind of a unique finish. But anyway, looks good and works good, which is absolutely amazing for a Mechograph to work good. So it's congratulations on that Mechograph, and your success. WA7YBS round 2, British Military Radio Net.
Okay, let me see if I've got any reflected on voice peaks. Maybe so. I switched antennas over to the loop because Andy and Steve just jumped way up. So I better watch the power though on this, because the loop vacuum cap may want to arc over. At this power level, I think it's at 100 watts is fine, but running a 120 watts carrier with who knows where we are on peaks, it may not be so great. Well, good copy on all, and yeah, the only thing I would say is it's too bad the RAL does not have a automatic volume control, because that fading has got me fingers on the sensitivity knob, running it from 4 to 8 to ride that QSB. But yeah, it's nice to hear signals in the clear, no QRN. It's all good. A good ending to 2023. And Bob, yeah, let us know what's driving the 3-500. It's sounding great. In fact, I think you're the best signal I've ever heard from Montague. Even louder than your non-directional beacon, so there you go. And Chuck, good deal. Let's see, you got the, I forgot now, you run the RT-13 also? Anyhow, but good deal. Jerry, holding down Forest Ranch, and yeah, I guess you're like most, didn't have to travel anywhere for Christmas, so that made it nice. Except for Dave, MQI, that went down to Pacific Grove. Well, at least you didn't have to clean up the wrapping paper at home. Andy, the night owl with his wireless set number 12. So what did you work over the evening? And now we've got wheelbarrow report for R392. Yeah, I can picture that little crystal oven in there. So yeah, not sure where one is, but you know, they're rolling around in somebody's garage if you can only figure out where it is. And Bill holding down Half Moon Bay. And Mike, yeah, I didn't have, not having the automatic volume control when you came on with the feedback, yeah, speaker jumped out. I still have tinnitus in the ears. Okay, with that, I'll head it up to Montague. W6AQU and U6F.
Okay, Ron, and U6F. This is W6 Able Queen Uncle. Well, we are running 6 watts out of a ICOM 7300 into a single 3500Z. Right now at about 190 watts. The temperature is 35. We had one good rainstorm this week, 1 2/10 all at once. And other than that, it's just been a little chilly. Mud puddles have finally subsided. We did not go anyplace for Christmas. Santa came here instead, so that was good. Well, I have a puppy dog in here playing with it. What is your avocado? That's what an avocado sounds like. So, I'll keep it moving. Back up there to Dayton, where it's probably a little colder. Chuck, DWC, go ahead, W6 Able Queen Uncle.
Okay, Bob, W6AQU K0 DWC. All right. Well, very good all the way around. Everybody is just really coming in very well. Andy, the wireless set 12, that's a treat to hear that on the air. And good morning to Mikey. W7MS, Mike KWS1 sounds great. And glad you're doing well. And Steve, you're pounding in. Of course, Andy's got a great signal in. Dave's pounding in. Jerry's pounding in. Bob, Ron, and everybody's pounding in. Henry's the strongest, but, you know, we kind of discount each other when we say that because we're so close. But Henry could be running 10 watts and peg my S meter. So. Nah, just kidding. But anyway, want to wish a Happy New Year to John, W6MIT, if you're listening, John. Happy New Year to you, and hope you're doing well. Not listening, Bill, listening for us, will you? Bill, N6BC2, I got a question. I know you're 91 or 92 years young, but I was just wondering if you got the old surfboard out, use your Half Moon Bay and hit some of them waves since they've been coming in. So maybe you can comment on that. But anyway, everybody's doing good. Nice show up this morning. So that's excellent. And we want to wish everybody a Happy New Year as well before I forget to say it. Carla says hi. She's working today. So it's just me and Monty, me and the dog and the horses here today for a while. So we had an okay Christmas. I got my usual bag of coal and some sticks under the tree, and Monty got all the toys, and Carla. But hopefully we'll have a quiet night tonight. We're expecting some fireworks too over here somewhere, so we got to kind of watch that as well. So definitely know what you're going through there, Mike. Man, horses and dogs do not like that stuff. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll keep it going here, and we will send it back over to Forest Ranch to Jerry. Jerry, say hello to Sharon for us, will you? Give her all best. W6JRY in the group, K0DWC.
Okay, Chuck, K0DWC. W6JRY. Oh, good copy from everybody. Good morning to you there, Mike. Sounds good there. The, what I call the IGY pair there. International Geophysical Year. Back in '57. That seems like what they were running about all the stations down in Antarctica when all that stuff was going on. Used to handle traffic for some of those guys down there, Navy Station and PC4USN and so on. Lots of stuff going on back then. But, seems like everybody was having the KWS-1 and 75A4 pair down there. And let's see here. Okay on everybody. Bill's coming in here pretty good here today too with these 25 watts. And no problems there. Glad to have the noise gone here. Not a lot of activity, radio activity here. I did get down in a shack off and on. I don't have any way of warming it up over here where the military equipment is. I've just got one little space over in the corner of the basement that I can close off and heat with a little pellet stove. And you can get on the air over there with some of my more modern equipment. But I did kind of tackle my SCR-274N setup that I've got here. I've had it put it together quite a number of years ago, but it's been sitting vacant. I had all that stuff, that and some of the other equipment around here on batteries, but I finally give up on lead acid batteries. It's just trying to keep them up and so on. Seems like a problem, but I got busy and I run a cable around to my PP1104 power supply to power the SCR-74N setup that I have. Receiver racks and associated stuff up with that. Trying to get that stuff with the back up. The project. Get a nice card in from the NS Savannah was on the air here not too awful long ago. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but it was the only nuclear-powered merchant ship that was built. Called for by Eisenhower back in 1955, and that was laid down. Adams for Peace. That's quite an interesting cargo ship that they built, and the only nuclear-powered one that's around or been around, but it's a museum ship now. Oh, let's see, other than that, and Chuck, yeah, Sharon's just, she'd broken finger on one of her hands. We finally got the cast off on that. I'm in trouble kind of keeping her up and mobile around here. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on here. Been cold. We got quite a bit of rain. One of the, about a week ago, we had one storm that come through here, and they've been just kind of slow, steady rains. We had 4 inches. I don't know what we got out there today, because yesterday it kind of rained off and on all day. But we've accumulated a fair amount of rain here so far here in France. So, I'll put it down there to Livermore to Dave and on his ART-13 and see what projects he's been up to there. Back to you there. Down to you there, Dave. W6MQI in the group, W6JRY.
All right, W6JRY, W6MQI. All right, Jerry. I hope you get your SCR 274 going for the big dog fights this month. I got mine going. I know Bob is trying to get some command sets going as well. Pretty cool. Before I forget, Steve, you can get those crystal ovens and the crystals off of Fair Radio Sales. They sell them. I just looked on it. They have them in stock. So, I mean, you'll have to pay for it. It's not free, obviously, but they have them. I think they're $14 for the oven. And it looked like the crystals were $14 each. So, if all else fails, they got them. Get them before they close. And, yeah, Chuck, I think I did see Bill down there walking around the beach with a longboard. It looked out of place. Old school longboards, they're the shorty. I didn't say anything. He was trying to look cool. And Andy, on your 515, I was looking through my manuals. I could have sworn there was a picture in there of that fuse we were talking about, and I can't find one. So I've seen a picture somewhere. It may have been on one of the PRC 515 group, Google groups or something, but if all else fails, I'll open mine up and take a picture of it. Hopefully it's something simple like that on your power issue with your 515. Projects, well, I had a brief flash of enthusiasm to start working on the NC101XA. It didn't last long, but we studied schematic and trying to figure out. Yeah, I had the same thing, Henry. Major hamster-fied, but this one, there were different tubes. They rearranged tubes inside this receiver. They actually put a voltage regulator in there to regulate the oscillator. So I pulled all that crap out of there, and now I got 3 sockets I have to rewire back to stock, and so I'm trudging through that, trying to figure all that out. And I'm also making a switch for my SDR receiver, so I can use the SDR receiver that I have on my laptop with some of these old rigs. The switch will switch the SDR receiver to ground, and I'm going to put a delay circuit on it and such, so I'm working on that. Other than that, not much else going on. I haven't been on 160 meters. I thought I was going to be on 160 meters a lot while I've been on vacation, not having to get up early in the morning, but I just can't get myself to come out here when it's cold. And this place is really well insulated too. It's not too bad out here, but it takes effort to open the back door of the house and walk out and come into the shack. I guess it requires too much effort on my part anyway. So other than that, I think that's about it for here. Not much else. And good morning, Mike. I forgot to say that. I walked out to get some more coffee, so I didn't catch what you were running, but you were sounding really good. So over to Andy.
86 DKX, W6MQI.
W6MQI in the group, K86TKX. Yeah, good morning, Mike. Nice to hear you on your KW Sierra Sugar S1 there, blasting in. Let's see, Ron, your TDE sounded great, and really cool to hear that. And yeah, no ABC on the RAL. It's a manual transmission, not an automatic. So. And it's funny because if you've ever used a set like that with no ABC, you need actually 3 hands to keep everything going. So it's always kind of a compromise, but it's a neat receiver anyways. Let's see, Bob, good to hear you. Your ICOM 7300 sounding good down here at Curry Mountain. Chuck, sounding good as always. Cool that you're using the ARR7, an underused receiver. We all know about them, but don't hear a lot of people using them, so that's great. Jerry, nice to hear you as always with a great signal out of Forest Ranch. Good deal on your 274N Resurrection Progress. And Dave, thanks for the 515 fuse info. No rush, of course, but if you ever get around to it, that'd be cool, because I'd like to check that at least before I shove the radio off to the Broken Toy Island there. Let's see, Steve, sounded good on your Collins twins. Bill, good copy here, 20 watts. Sounds more like 100 watts here, so nice signal here to the location. And Henry RT13 and NC, ART13 blasting in. Good deal with NC120 project. So that NC120 is very fortunate because it was probably a pretty narrow margin between, destruction and some kind of a future which you're giving it. So good for you on that one. Lots of stuff going on here. As some of you guys know, I'm a relatively new grandpa, not an old grandson. So my daughter's house was a little small, so every time I would come visit, it was kind of a thing. So I bought a little travel trailer. Was down there this week for the first time. Went fantastic. So it's going to be a great way to go. I call it the ultimate house guest because I bring the house with me. So. But anyways, that's been fantastic. And yeah, there's a radio in there. It's an 80s era Harris RF 3200 ET, which is kind of like a 80s embassy type emergency HF radio with an automatic antenna tuner. It's in a black suitcase, so even if it didn't work well, I'd like it, but it does work pretty well, so it's a lot of fun. Another thing I wanted to mention to the group, in the off chance anyone's interested, is I found a really neat power supply on eBay, and it's a guy that makes them. And it's kind of a battery eliminator, I guess you could say, but it's modern solid state, and it runs 1 to 6 volts for filaments, up to 2 amps. It has an isolated C battery voltage, and it's also adjustable, and an adjustable B plus up to 135 volts. So I bit the bullet and grabbed one. I'm running my Forest Service SPF with it, and it works fantastic. So, and what's amazing to me is the regulation on key down. It really wasn't intended for any type of transmitting purposes, but on key down, both the A plus and the B plus don't move at all. So it's pretty cool. It's AC input, but I made contact with a guy, really nice guy, retired engineer, and I said, man, it'd be great if there was a 12-volt DC input version, and sure enough, a couple weeks later, I've got the 12-volt DC input version here that I'm kind of checking out. So really neat if you run little radios that need those type of voltages and don't make any noise and are reliable. This is a good option. It's on eBay. If you want information, you can get a hold of me and I'll get it to you. But it's maybe a little bit expensive in some ways, but it's got a manual, and it's a better manual than a lot of the military radios I've got. And it's just really cool. So I think the guy's doing a great job, and he just does it for fun, but he's good at what he does. So little radios need power supplies. That's a good one for that. So I've had the SPF Forest Service radio out, made some contacts with that, having fun with it as always. But there's always something more, that is calling to me. So we'll see what happens next. Steve, over to you. W6SSP and the group, KD6TKX.
Okay, Andy, very good. And excellent on the power supply. It's funny, Jeff, WD6NVH and I were just talking about that last couple of days, and there's another power supply. I think it's probably a Chinese thing. DC to DC converter with input voltage between, I believe it's
8 and 32 volts DC. Output is from 45 volts to about 400 volts. Adjustable at about 200 milliamps. And I thought, wow, you know, that would be perfect for powering BC348, BC312, BC324, and probably a lot of other military receivers that use dynamotors that their dynamotors are missing. Just happen to have one of those. So I think they're 2 for $16 with free shipping. Hard to pass that up, so I may order a couple of them and play around with them. They're probably going to be noisy, but anyway, that'll be kind of a new toy, new solution to an old problem. We'll see how that works. Projects this week, I've been working on finished the first CV591A, which is the sideband converter that was used with R390s, 390As, and GPR 90s and a lot of other radios. Finished the first one. Seems to work okay. The second one is a little more of a challenge. Missing a lot of the hardware. I found out the hard way that the rather heavy power supply was held in with one loose screw, and it ended up dangling by its wiring harness. It didn't break anything, but that's always a surprise when that happens. But anyway, got all the all missing hardware back in place, installed, and starting to replace the capacitors. So once the 2 wheelbarrow R390As are done, I'll pair them up with CV591As. So, and that leads to the next problem. It's about time to look for another rack. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but time to get some of these radios off the floor and mount it vertically again. Maybe make some more space. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, again, Andy, your wireless set number 12 sounds very, very good. Good to hear British Iron on the air. Don't hear too much of that anymore. And pretty neat to have 3 ART-15s on there today. Really cool. So, pass it down to Bill on the surfboard. Hey, Bill, you got to make up a new QSL card with you on a surfboard down with Mavericks and running mobile. N6BCT W6 SSP.
Well, thank you, Bill.
and 6 BCT in the highly esteemed Military Radio Collectors Group / MIL-RAD NET W7MS Mike and Reno. Well, now that I'm composed and the first cup of coffee is kicked in, we'll stick to the subject. But thanks, Henry, for the acknowledgement. And it's nice to be wide awake. But yeah, running the KW S1 7584 combination, and of course that is with service bolt and 14.4 I just installed. And of course, my apologies if the audio level and carrier level isn't quite correct, since I was rather blurry-eyed to set this up on the ad hoc this morning. But great signals from everybody. We've got an operative PRC 515. He's got a new travel trailer, much more civilized, and he can operate the Harris Mobile from the grandson's QTH. Excellent report there, Andy. Yeah, we're here this morning, 18 degrees for the weather report. And I got inspired to run the Goldberg twins here, playing the internal keying relay that activates the transmit receive relay, the RF switch. And I got some paperwork realized that 2023 was the 30-year anniversary of its acquisition, and that takes me back to being a correspondent with Henry and Sharon quite a few decades ago, doing KWS1 manual photocopies. We had two different versions, so we exchanged proofs and did photocopies over at Carl's. That goes way back. And let me see, a lot of comments going on Jerry's comments on geophysical year. Yeah, so some of those great photographs from Antarctica from those KWS1 A4 aficionados, and good. You can't beat any better publicity for the marketing department there in Cedar Rapids. And let me see, I don't think any help on the oven, but Dave did offer some great suggestions if you want to dig into the Shekel container, and that's specified by the Goldberg twins here. And inverters, I think Ron may be of suggestion. I know he's run some of those Chi-Com inverters himself on some of his projects. And great to hear that Steve is doing quite well. And let me see here. My gosh, projects here. Another one for the dogfight. I just recently got the RCA-BT 15A activated in conjunction with the RCA VR20 receiver. And was run in the liaison aircraft, the little Grasshopper aircraft in WW2. So my gosh, so many aircraft radios and so little time for the shootout. But with that, back to you, Henry. And my apologies for the tinnitus up the road there. WA7YBS, W7MS.
WA6JKN, good morning.
Okay, WA6JKN there. Go ahead and make a transmission there, Kevin, and turn it back to me, WA7YBS. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Henry. Yeah, I've been in here for, what time is it? Yeah, about 40 minutes, I guess. 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Waiting for the coffee to finish brewing, and then I forgot about it. I started reading. Yeah, I'm just looking at this new amplifier that's come out from a ham operator in Australia. Boy, it looks like he did a great job. New solid-state amplifier. Yeah, they're popping up all over the world, and that's good. It creates competition. Well, anyway, I've heard everybody's comments. Sounds like a lot of good projects going on there with rewiring hacked-up rigs to buying trailers and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing. Life goes on, by golly. I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. as well, and want to wish the very best to you and your families. I'll keep it short here. It's a big group. Bob in here. Good signal, Bob, down here in the garlic capital of the world. And Bill, BCT, always solid in here. I don't know about that longboard. I don't know if you were the Bill they were referring to, but longboards are fun. I remember Mr. Olson back in the 60s building those longboards down there, and I think it was Huntington Beach. That was his secondary job. Back in those days, he was primarily a school teacher, a shop teacher. He ran the wood shop over at the high school. So brought back a lot of good memories. Now, one thing I'll tell you about Mr. Olson, he was missing a lot of fingers, and he utilized those missing fingers as a teaching moment to the students to be careful with all the machines like the shear and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was interesting. I don't know if it was all true, if that's how he lost his fingers, but anyway, I remember the story. All right, back to you, Henry. Thank you very much for picking me up. WA12 on YBS and the military group, WA6JKN.
WA60PE. Well, there's Tom. WA60PE. Number 11 for you there, Tom. Go ahead and make a transmission. Turn it back to me, WA7YBS. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Henry. This is WA60PE. I've been listening all morning, so I thought I would just do a one and done and wish everybody a happy new year. And I'm still around, so we'll check in, try to check in more often next year. So have fun. Good signals today, so that's a good thing. Let's hope it continues. 7 feet all and happy new year to all. WA7YBS.
Okay, Tom. WA60PE, WA7YBS. Well, hello and goodbye. Good to hear from you. And 73. And speaking of 73, I guess we're going to be doing the 73 round here in a minute. I did want to mention, and it's been alluded to several times, and that's the airborne radio dogfight coming up January 28th. That's 4 weeks from now. So you have 4 weeks to get some aircraft equipment airworthy and on the air. And so that will be, anything goes. Anything that was in the air is good. So, it can be World War II, Korean War, newer than that, older than that, and, whatever was in an airplane and used for transmitting and receiving is okay for the dogfight, and that'll be January 28th, so 4 weeks from now. And let's see, Andy, that receiver, I wish it was an NC-120. Of course, those were the national made RAOs. It's an NC-125, which of course is, it's an okay receiver. It's not exactly a entry-level receiver, but it's, it's kind of a mid-priced thing that they did, and it's, it looks like it's an okay receiver, but it wasn't a barn burner, and so we'll see. I think I could be easily distracted from the NC-125, so we'll see. Anyway, for the NC-101X project, I know my NC-100XA was the same way. It was just, half of it had been rewired with this red and white plastic insulation type wire. It was awful. And then on top of that, it was painted baby blue. Had to repaint that sucker. So anyway, yeah, they've borne the brunt of a lot of hamster activity. So anyway, let's go ahead and do the 73 round. And when it gets to Kevin there, WA6JK, and turn it back to me because Tom OPE did a one and done. So with that, up to Ron, NU6F, WA7, YBS.
Okay, good deal. Well, it was sure good to hear Tom in there. We finished off the year making it an official end-of-year net. So was wondering when I would hear the voice of Richmond again. Sounds good. And yeah, let's see, going back up to Henry. Okay, on your hamstered NC-125. Poor thing. Well, yeah, like you said, a mic connector on the outside, a BNC on the outside was only an invitation to what surprises there were inside. Well, yeah, you say hopefully it merits the investment in time, and it sounds good afterwards. Thanks for the comment on the mechograph. Yes, I was pleasantly surprised, thinking I had found all of the missing parts off of the key, and then, yeah, the last thing was rubber bumpers inside those round weights, and, yeah. Yeah, the only positive thing I can say comparing the ease of use and whatnot is the mechograph has a bigger range of speeds. You can slide that pivot arm and go from 7 words a minute to 45 words a minute. But yeah, don't let your finger loose from the tightening of the knurled nut, or the spring falls out, and you have to go ahead and line it all back up again. But anyhow, it was a fun project. And on keys, with all the keys that Ethan has picked up, I've almost been tempted to buy more keys, but I saw a couple that he had, and more Navy history. He has a cootie key, sight wiper, nothing to look at, but had the call letters of the owner. I checked up on it, and he's a silent key since '86. But he was radioman first class on the USS Conger, one of the last diesel boats in the war, and so that was kind of cool. And I've since found Larry picked up another key that belonged to a radioman second class Jackson. It's got a brass plate on it. I'm not sure still haven't found it, but it was in transmitter. In transmitter compartment 2 on board whatever ship it was on. So, yeah, so I've been having fun with tracking down the history on keys that Ethan has, but I have to stop buying them sooner or later. And Bob, okay on the puppy, playing with the avocado with a squeaky toy in it. I could hear it. Chuck, good deal. Not sure what you're going to be running for the dog fight. Oh, I really have. It's functional in AM is just the ART-13. The ARC-5s are just CW only. I don't have modulator or anything on those. And yeah, Jerry Adams for peace. And like you said, Mike's Goldberg Goldfine twins that are now 20 years in your possession. Yeah, all the photos showed those, showed the Collins rigs there in South America at the South Pole. So, yeah, PRC 515, Dave and Andy. Yeah, I've been on the the PRC 174. I had great success on my second battery, 24-volt battery pack, and a teaching lesson on the first battery pack with lithium-ion batteries. It became an improvised explosive device. Wow. That was a learning experience. I'll stick with the lithium-ion batteries now. And let's see, Steve. Yeah, there might be another wheelbarrow out there with that crystal oven. You never know. And Mike, not sure if you want to join us over at Hometown, but the whole gang is going to be going later. And Kevin, good to hear the voice of Gilroy signing out for the year. And we will, with that, say 73s. Thanks, Henry, for riding herd on the net. W6AQU and you success.
Very good run. Then you 6F. W6 Able Queen Uncle. Well, quite interesting on all of your comments. Wow. Too numerous to mention there. Let's see. Chuck, you said Carla was at work. Oh, she must have got herself a job. Perhaps she can elaborate on that. And Jerry, yeah. Yeah, I remember those guys at Antarctica. Gee whiz. Back in the old days, you could say, I guess. Okay, on Shannon, how she's doing. And let's see, MQI. Well, I can't for the life of me figure out going to Pacific Grove. I've been there. I was born and raised in the Monterey Peninsula. And there's something down there. I think it's going for walks, and I can't remember what all was involved there. But anyhow, I think there's something down I forgot what it is. But she'll refresh my memory. Now let's see, Andy, a travel trailer. Oh boy, Murphy coming up, huh? Get you a 7300 and put it in there, nice and small. Or if it's a small trailer, get one of those Icon 706s with the detachable. My first trailer, I had an Icon in that with a slit. The rig went underneath the seat, and along on the side by the window above the table is where the remote was. Really works like... Steve, I've thrown those ovens away. And now it costs money to get them back. Well, that's something. Well, I got a comment for Bill. I don't see him on a surfboard. I see Bill on a dune buggy with one of those sticks in the back with a flag going up and down the dune buggies. Yeah. Mike, I'm not going to make comments on you. Your signal looks pretty good, though. I don't have to tune down. I can just see off the side of the scope. But the audio is well. And last but not least, Jacks, Kings, and Nines. Golly. Kevin, I remember when we first started working each other, 37 years ago, on PCSs, and you'd sent to me a plug that I didn't have, so I could get power to my TCFs. I wonder if you remember that. So with that, up to date. DWC, Chuck, go ahead. W6 Able, Queen, Uncle.
Okay, Bob, W6AQU 30 DWC. Yeah, Carla's hours are Tuesday through Saturday normally. She works 4 10s, and she usually has Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. But here, the last couple of weeks, she's been having to work Sundays. She worked Sunday last week. She's working Sunday today, and she might work one of her days off this coming week on Tuesday, so we'll have to wait and see. But they're swamped down there. That's what she's been doing. So she's working a 10-hour day today. She started at 6 months, so she got a while yet. But anyway, that's kind of the story there. And anyway, Kevin, good morning to you. And Tom, if you're still listening, good morning to you. It's good to have you back again. Look forward to the adventures of WA6 OPE for the 2024 radio season. Anyway, good to hear both of you two fellas. Big net this morning. It turns out really great because conditions are good. We've got a lot of folks here with a lot of good things to say, and all seems well. But Andy, congratulations on becoming pilot this year. I became a great grandfather in 2023. I know it's a little anybody, but my little great grandson will be 1 year old in 5 days, 5th of January. He was born the 5th of January this year. So got a little birthday for him coming up. So the kid's weighs a ton. He needs a couple of anchors on his forearms. I nicknamed him, what was that in that movie with Clint Eastwood, where he fought Tank Murdoch? Well, he's Tank Murdoch. But anyway, congratulations. Oh yeah, Ron, I've got my special event station ready, the SCR 193 station, which technically it happens what it is. I have a DC 2.4 instead of DC 212. That would be more accurate. But I don't have a 224. This set together, what I had in mind was a simple core infantry set, like what would be in a tank, you know, like during the Korean War and World War II. But, you know, the BC-191, which is part of that set, was used in some aircraft when they were still 12 to 14 volt systems. And then before that, they settled with the AA-191. They had those earlier. I think that was mid-30s, if I remember correctly. Henry, you can correct me on that. But, anyway, it's all zipped up now, tied up and ready to go. So that's what I'll be running. The official aircraft designation, I believe, is the SCR-178. So I'll have a slightly modified version of that with the SCR-193. So that's the deal on that. So anyway, that'll do it for me. And I want to thank everybody for showing up today for the end of year, and that is very much appreciated. We appreciate your support, and we hope everybody has a happy new year and a good year ahead. And Bill, hang 10 for me there, bud. Get out there on that longboard, like Dave says, with that big old fin underneath of there instead of the little skinny tri-fin deal on these newer short boards. So you hang 10 out there, buddy, and be safe, and watch those sharks. So just for them. Anyway, 7-3, guys. I'll send it over to Jerry. And Henry, thanks for doing the net again, and I'll give you a holler later. All right, W6JRY. Go ahead, Jerry. 7-3, guys.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, Chuck, good. Boy, still good signals on up. Everybody, good copy. I think that's one of the best days for propagation I can remember. A long time. But lots and lots of stuff to comment on, and I'm not going to do all of it. But good morning to Tom, OPE, and Vern there, K6VXY. And good to hear them. I was going to make one comment to Andy there that I'd written down here about the power supply. Good on that. Well, I remember kind of doing the same thing and solving the problems on the Eddystone All-World 2 that Lee and that was one of our secret wireless war concepts. We did the 3 kind of different version things of that, the Mark III and the All-World 2, and the power supply that I built for that sounds similar to what you've come up with there. Made a AC supply with that. I still have all the old battery paste stuff where I would build it to look like the old dry cell batteries back in the 30s and 40s. Accumulated a bunch of those batteries and then did the one-to-one pictures of them and made boxes and regulated supplies for powering the different radios there. But anyway, projects all over the place, it sounds like. Well, I need to get a little more active here on some of my projects. Anyway, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody here. Henry, thanks for running the net. And let's see here, just, well, too many things to comment on, and I don't want to hold it that long. So, best of 73s from Forest Ranch, and hope to see everybody all next year. Oh, Dave, down there to you, and everybody have a great...
You take care, W6MQI, and yep, I'll make it brief too. Bob, let's see, Pacific Grove Walk, I don't know, Lover's Point maybe you're thinking about? 17-mile drive, Del Mar, I don't know. The wife won't be down here. We should buy a place down here. I just, oh my God, I just laughed at her. Yeah, right. We're a few million short of being able to purchase a house down there. That's a ritzy place, Del Mar and Pacific Grove. That's my league. We're working on a bronze budget here. Can't even think about buying a place down there. But Steve, I was going to tell you, I did get a hold of Jason, and he didn't buy a TCK. He bought a TCN, and they're beautiful. Look like they're right out of a shipping container. They've been sitting since World War IV shipping. God, they look brand new. Beautiful TCN setup he's got there. He's talking with Jason. Emailing him anyway. And what else? Good morning to JKN and OPE. And yeah, you got it, Andy. You're right. You're an asshole. That's cool. Congratulations. Hopefully I have a while before that happens. I don't want to push my daughter into anything like that right now. But anyway, not much else here. So I'm going to move it along, and I'll see everybody next year. And I'm going to try and get on the straight key night tomorrow night, or whenever, anyway, tomorrow. And I've tried to do that for the last, God, I don't know, maybe 30 years. I've never seemed to make it. And I just realized the other day, 2024, I've been a hammer for 50 years. God dang. Sure went fast. I can remember my parents' house waiting for the ticket to show up in the mail, wondering what my call letters were. I can still remember that. Came in August. It was a hot August day. So anyway, over to, God, what's next year? Andy, KD6TKX, W6MQI, 73 all.
All right, Dave, very good. W6MQI in the military radio group. KD6TKX here. Well, let's see. Chuck, congratulations, great grandpa. I guess that's, hopefully, knock on wood, that'll probably be happening someday, but this is the first one. So, anyways, congratulations on that. And Dave, you said Jace had a TCN. If he's got a TCN, that would be the second one in existence. Maybe you're talking about a TCM, which is the HF version. TCN was low frequency transmitter. TCM, but anyways, if he's got one, it's pretty hard to find, and it would be great on 630 meters. You could talk to nobody with your TCN instead of talking to nobody with that other transmitter, which is just kind of a joke, but not really. Good morning to Kevin, and good morning to Tom. And Henry copied the correction, MC-125, so it's a lucky MC-125. And thanks for the info on the aircraft dogfight. Sounds a great idea. I'm sure I could put something together here for that. So, with that, 73's from Prairie Mountain. This morning, and hope everybody has a good new year coming up. Over to you, Steve. W6SST in the group, 86TKX, 73.
Okay, 73, Andy. Good to hear you on, and good to hear everybody on. It's been a great year for the net, a great year for a whole wide variety of projects that everybody's been involved in. Trying to keep track of everything and comment on the mail, but really interesting to listen to all the different things people go into. And Dave, thank you for the suggestion of pair radio for the 398 other. They've become a little too pricey, so for that kind of money, I'll just wait next year and hopefully find a whole RF deck with that oven and the crystal attached. We'll do show up occasionally, but anyway, it's one of those things that's pretty easy to just transfer from one to the other. So I'll just hold off on that. And very good on talking to Jason, but I thought that screwed up pretty seriously. I didn't realize he got a TCN. We talked about it quite a bit. I could have sworn he says TCK. I have to look that one up. It's one I'm not familiar with at all. So, he was very, very excited about it. So he picked up not only that, but quite a few other things, which is really cool. I'm glad he's still into it. Being on the other side of the country, it's hard to keep in touch with people sometimes. Let's see, what else? So many things are coming on. I'll just say thanks for guys. Wish everybody a happy, very, very happy New Year, and hopefully more toys and radios and projects coming our way in 2024. Say 73, and I'll pass on to Brown down in Hatfield Bay. 73, I'll talk to you next year.
Okay, well, thanks, Bill. N6BCT and the great group W7MS. Well, I think we'll keep it short. Say 7.3's propagation is shifting, mostly noticeable on Andy's signal, but still Q5, but headed into the local noise floor. And well, it's been a good year. As Steve has commented, it's been great. And I think basically we'll wrap it up and we'll say was it Charles Osgood would always say, we'll see you on the radio. And I think that's a good oxymoron. We'll see you guys on the radio next year. And we'll roll it over to Kevin. Good morning, Kevin. Great to hear Tom Hosfield making an appearance, but he's listening. And I realized I'm in lower sideband, Kevin, so gosh darn it. WA6JKN W7MS.
Oh yeah, I can tell. I can tell that lower sideband, by golly, with a little bit of carrier. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's the KW Sugar 1 or not. I think that's what you said. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, 73 routes. I'll keep it short. Bob, answer your question. Yeah, I remember the connector after the TCS 12. Boy, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I remember firing up the TCS 12. We were back in the 60s, and then there was a big old gap. I had it in storage. Then I couldn't find the cables. I never did find the cables. I had to make up new ones, so that's why I think I had the connector. Found a guy back in the Midwest that had the connector, so bought some spares. So I still have spares. And glad to help out, by golly. The old TCS 12, when I first picked it up, if you remember, Bob, I was using alligator clips on the pin. And, yeah, I won't tell you about the mess wire or the alligator clips reading the pin backwards or something like that, but it didn't hurt anything. But some of the alligator wires acted like fuses, if you've ever had that happen. All right, 73, Happy New Year, everybody. And OPE, if you're there, pick it up. If not, back to you there in oh golly, where are you located, Henry? I know you're up there. WA7Y, wait a minute, I can't remember your call. WA7 YBS, yeah, I'm pulling that out of memory. Thanks for running the net. WA6JKN.
Okay. Yeah, a little pause there to see if Tom was hanging around. But he did do a one and done, so there we go. And, all right. Well, let's go ahead and close the net. Thanks, everybody, for your participation. Don't forget, January 28th. And it'll be part of our regular Sunday net will be the aviation radio dogfight. Run what you got. Anything that was in an airplane is okay. Or even thought about putting it in an airplane is okay. So anyway, we'll be getting prepped for that. We have 4 weeks. 4 weeks for that. Well, Chuck is going to have the honor of initiating this net for the year 2024. He'll be net control next week. So with that, we'll go ahead and close this last MIL-RAD net for 2023. Everybody have a Happy New Year, and we'll hear everybody on next week. This is WA7YBS closing the Vintage Military Radio Net, otherwise known as the Nevada MIL-RAD Net, and signing off, 73 all.